Kruse. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, follow me on social media at Miss Tori Kruse. I really appreciate it. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Tyson. She is a classically trained actress, certified yoga instructor, published model, writer, and Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2018. She is a Caribbean American woman who embraces the beauty of both of her cultures. She's an advocate for self-love. Caitlin jumpstarted the natural hair movement in the Cayman Islands and encourages any man or woman to celebrate the skin that they're in. Caitlin, welcome, and I'm so glad we finally connected to do this interview.
Thank you so much, Tori. I know I'm so excited. I'm glad that we were able to connect in the first place, and I'm just really excited to talk with you today.
Yes, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Caitlin and I met at the Global Beauty Awards in Washington, and that was actually, I believe, when we were both title holders back in 2018. Yes. And so we haven't been able to connect in person, but, we have, over social media and such. So it's just great to have you on the show today, and I'm excited to hear your story and kind of hear about how you broke through some of your challenges as well.
I'm excited as well, and again, I know we talked about the Global Beauty Awards in your networking event, which was awesome as well.
Thanks. Really so glad you joined.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I love this part of pageantries, like the sisterhood, that even though we're not able to be in person and stuff, like we can still have a great conversation and get to know each other.
Yes, absolutely. So, Caitlin, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now on a normal day. What is the life of Caitlin? Are you in the United States, or are you primarily in the Cayman Islands?
Well, I lived in New York for 4 years, almost 4 years, before coming back home to run for Miss Cayman Islands. So, the day in the life was like up at 7 a.m., sending emails, applying for different jobs, and just putting yourself out there as much as possible, especially being like a freelance artist, which now I'm signed with an agency, so that's a bit different. But just like putting yourself out there, getting your demo reel together, website, all of your materials, running around everywhere from callbacks and stuff like that. But that was really it, and just doing what I love to do. It's my training is in acting, and so now that was the plan, getting after Miss Cayman Islands, that okay, I'm gonna get back to my acting and get back on that hustle and grind. And 2020 has really just put a lot of things into perspective for a lot of people.
It really has. It really has. So let's rewind a little bit and go back to when you were Miss Cayman Islands. What led you up to actually even competing for that pageant?
It was something that I looked up to for a long time. Growing up, you kind of look at your national title holders, and they're like queens and princesses are really inspiring. And so I always wanted to run. But then once I went away to New York for training and stuff, my focus was just on acting. But that high pace, and I spoke a little bit about it before as well in your networking event as well, just that focus on me, and that grind and everything, it just got a bit exhausting, and I missed home, and I wanted an opportunity to give back a little bit, because that's a part of my life. It's always been a part of my life, is service. And I come from a single parent family, so my mom is a social worker, and I've always seen her giving back and living a life of service. And I was like, how can I do something? How can I give back? And I just was able to transition from New York back home into this competition, and then I won, and I was able to just like spend my year doing amazing things. And I'm so grateful for all the connections I made and people I was able to touch.
Yes, you made an incredible impact. I know, because Maureen Francisco, she speaks so highly of you, and that's actually who connected the two of us. She's an amazing person, but you have done an amazing job. And how have you continued that after Miss Cayman Islands into your normal life? Because I feel like, as a title holder, it's part of our duty to go change the world, impact the world, and make all these appearances. But a lot of people don't know is that we're doing that because we genuinely want to give. It's not because it's expected of us. It's genuinely in our hearts. So how have you continued to do that post pageantry?
Well, I found that a lot of girls reached out to me, especially like seeing one of the first Miss Cayman Islands being a brown skinned woman with Afro natural hair, and they're just like, oh my gosh, like I'm so inspired by you. You inspired me to go natural and all this. So like I kind of found what I just found an area that I was able to maybe impact a little bit more. And because I'm always an advocate for self-love, I was like, maybe I can share this a little bit more with my people, since I see that that's something that's lacking, you know, that no one should feel that how they are naturally isn't beautiful and isn't valid. So how can I do that? How can I bridge that gap? And I worked with the YMCA down here. I was a part of an after school program where I was teaching little kids like different, it was like a 6-week program. And just using the arts and everything. And it was really great because I always wanted different outlets when I was growing up to be able to experience the arts. And so I was able to give that. I got a group of dancers together and we did a beautiful tribute from The Color Purple musical. And it was African homeland and just like embracing all the parts of our culture that make us amazing and rich and beautiful. And so that's really how I've been able to continue doing that and trying to find the balance as well, because I'm sure you know as well, when you're giving back and you're just focused on uplifting other people and giving as much of yourself as you can, sometimes you forget that you also need some of that too. You need some rest, you need some care. And so that's really what I've been trying to do, is find that healthy balance.
You just nailed it right there. It is so true. When you're pouring so much out, you still need to remember to pour in to yourself, because there's no way that we can be the best person, the best role model, the best leader for anybody if we're not doing that for ourselves. And so what are some daily habits that you do to continually, you know, pour into your soul, pour into your mindset so you keep that healthy?
Yeah, well, I'm a certified yoga instructor as well. So yoga has been a big thing for me. And it's not just about the poses. I think, and on our side of the world, we get to like into the glamour of yoga, which is like the outfits and the gorgeous like poses and the leg behind the head and all of that. But it's really about what comes up while you're practicing, you know, and thinking of everything as a metaphor for your life while you're on the mat. So if I'm changing my perspective and I'm now upside down, like how can I change perspective in different situations in my life? You know, how can I find balance in my life? How can I be more flexible in my thinking in different areas of my life? So that's been a huge practice of mine. I meditate, and I know a lot of people, when we talk about meditation, it's really difficult for a lot of the times. We're not used to like quieting our minds. We just let it go on and on. So that's a big one. But honestly, one of my mantras is I love myself enough to take care of myself, mind, body, and soul. So that goes with everything: getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, eating well. You know, you can make a choice to have some ice cream or a brownie every now and then, like it's no big deal, right? But loving myself enough to actually take care of myself has been a really big thing, because I love to give to other people. But if I love myself and I'm an advocate for self-love, then I got to take care of myself. I got to make sure that I'm being kind to myself. I got to change the way that I talk to myself, my internal voice that I have, my critical voice. Like, where can I say that I'm doing the best that I can right now? So stopping sometimes, even just for 5 minutes, and just breathing and seeing where you are in this space. It might be you're a little tense. Where can I release some tension? Those little things throughout the day. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, it totally did. It makes a huge difference too. And you seem so self-aware, and I absolutely love that about you. Have you always been that self-aware of your body and your emotions and your mind?
No.
You didn't just wake up like this, girl?
Oh no, right? No, I think you get to this point from living in the dark for so long, you know, for being kind of nasty to yourself and stuff. So I grew up being very critical of myself. I'm also like an Aries. I don't know if you know zodiac signs, but I'm very fiery. So I'm very fiery, and a lot of times, like if I found that I was being misunderstood or I wasn't being heard, it would come out in a lot of anger and aggression and frustration. I also suffered a tragedy when I was very young. I lost my father when I was 12. And so the way that I had to navigate my emotions, I actually just kind of put that part to the side and just continued as if everything was normal. And later on, I realized that there was a lot that I was internalizing that I didn't want to address. But I want to say to anyone who's dealing with those kinds of really high intense emotions, it's just to know that emotions are temporary. They're not going to take over your life. The same way that happiness and joy, they come and they go. it's the same thing. So allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Everything you're feeling is valid. Give it a voice and let it come in and come out, and you'll be so much better off for it.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell us a little bit more about your natural hair movement that you did and maybe still are doing post pageantry.
Yeah, so I'm just like reaching out to girls. I know I get so many messages about my hair, and I went natural.
It's
I think it's about
gorgeous.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing. I love it.
It was about 4 years ago. I just like cut it all off when I moved to New York, and it was like one of the best decisions I made because first of all, the chemical relaxers that are really targeted towards people of color to use as a standard of beauty, they're actually just horribly toxic for you. And there were some cases that I saw that just was so frightening. I'm like, why am I doing
Oh my
this?
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. So that was the big thing. And I was thinking about doing it, and just hearing different opinions from people, and oh, you shouldn't do that. You won't get a role. You won't be able to do this. You won't look beautiful. And
Crazy.
It was like, okay, maybe I'll wait for it to grow out. And then I'm like, wait, why does it have to be long for me to love my hair? So I just cut all of it off. I was like, just cut it all off and just decided to love myself. I actually hadn't had my natural hair since I was like 12 years old, 11 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the story for a lot of women of color, that once you get to be about like 15 years old, like then that's the time for you to get your big girl hair and it's relaxed. And so it's a crazy history, right? And I love to dive into that as well because it's just crazy. But the more that if I could just show people that I was loving my own hair, and a lot of people would message me like, oh, I wish my hair looked like yours. And it's like, don't wish your hair looked like anyone else's but your own, just love yourself. And, getting, I had like very intimate brunches with a couple of natural hair girls, and I told them about products to use and techniques and stuff. And I've just been keeping it very, very small and very intimate and personal, because I find that's where I love to live, in that space. And if I can really just look at you and eye to eye and hear your problems and share my own, and I just feel like we just grow so much more together.
Yes, that's so inspiring. I hope there's girls listening that have been in your shoes before, and just to see how you believe in yourself.
Thank you. I think that's just so interesting too. It's not just one kind of natural hair is beautiful. Everyone's natural hair is beautiful. And if you want to put on some extensions or you want to change it up a little bit, like, it's a choice and you feel beautiful either way. But I find a lot of people feel that they have to hide or alter in order to be beautiful. And actually, I had a moment when I was getting ready to run for Miss Cayman Islands, where someone wanted to be a part of my team. And the first thing he said was that, well, we can't do that hair. You're going to have to change that hair. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. We're not going to be able to work together.
No. Wow.
Right? And imagine
that
if
is
someone
unbelievable.
Looked at you and said that.
Right. That is unbelievable. And I even have, I think you made a great point there. It's like, I've had doubts in myself and in my hair. Trust me, my hair doesn't wake up. I don't wake up looking like this with my hair. I mean, like, I have my own insecurities with my hair if it's not done. Like, little tiny things like that, right? And I think but those are things that I used to care more about when I was younger. And then now when you get comfortable in your own skin, that is when that was such an awesome point of like, you embrace it no matter, what your skin color or what your hair type or what your nationality, anything of that is. So that's really, really inspiring. It's a really cool perspective too that you put on that.
Thank you.
And so I want to switch gears and talk more about the modeling and acting world, because Lord only knows that industry is tough. I've been in the modeling industry for many, many years now, and there's so many no's that, come along the way with acting and modeling. So how have you really broke through all of those no's and got back up every single time? You're like, no, that's not going to set me back. This is going to be a breakthrough for me.
Yeah, a mentor of mine, she gave me 2 pieces of advice that were just so great for me. And the first one was, when you're going into an audition, you think the whole room is against you and you get so nervous and, oh goodness, I hope I don't do anything wrong. When you go into an audition, they hope you're the right one. They hope you are it. Everyone is on your side. No one is like, oh, let's see how she's going to fail. Like, no one's thinking that. They want you to wow them. So you can just go in and take your opportunity and have fun. I was like, that's so amazing. And the second one was actually that sometimes when you get a no, it has nothing to do with you. So say if you're going in for a leading lady role and the leading man happens to be 5'2" and I'm coming in as a model, you know, they might not want me for that role because it doesn't match someone they've already casted. Or maybe there's different things with wardrobe and, you know, logistics, like you never know. So don't put all the pressure on yourself that, oh, I wasn't right. It was me who I failed. It's like, no, it's an entire production. When you see all the moving parts behind the scenes, you kind of realize that it's most of the time, it doesn't really have to do with you personally. And so I've tried to separate my art and my craft from who I am as a person, because I find that when we fail as an artist or, you know, in this field that we love so much, we can like kind of bring that into our self-identity. Like, who am I now? Like, am I even doing this? Am I right for this? Should I change? It's like, listen, you can have an off day at work and you're still a great person and you're still going to succeed. And so like kind of making that distinction, and also knowing that I'm not really competing with anyone in the room because everyone has their own unique thing. You know, no one can do what I do. No one can do what Tori does. No one can do what she can do. So we should all just be going in as the full expression of ourselves anyway. And don't worry about what anyone else is doing.
That's my exact viewpoint on pageantry. Everybody asks, and I'm sure you got this a lot as a title holder as well, but a lot of people ask, how do you not compare yourself? And I totally agree with what you just said. You know, it's not, everybody brings in different talents. I mean, I can never be anybody else. You know, we are made like this for a reason, and just come in and be your best self. Because, you know what I said in pageantry, I'm like, if you go in and you're faking to be somebody else and you're not true to yourself, do you realize when you win, you have to be that same fake person? Like, that would be exhausting.
Yeah. And you know, just like that, like if I'm pretending, say if I'm doing my best Tori impersonation, what do we think is going to be better, the real Tori or the impersonation of that? Right. You know, so it's like, just do you, like be yourself, and you'll have a great time in the process. People can tell if you're not having a good time.
Oh my gosh, yes, completely. And I think, how many times did you compete in pageantry?
Well, I did like our little Miss pageants when I was younger. So I won when I was 12, and I did my college pageant, and I won that one. It was like Mr. and Mrs. UCCI. And then I didn't do any pageants for years, and then I just decided to go into Miss Cayman, and I won. So.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Yeah. So you have to tell me a little bit about your experience at Miss Universe, just really for my own curiosity, but I'm sure there are some listeners as well who are like, whoa, what was it like going to the granddaddy of them all, Miss Universe?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was very high pressure, a lot of very intense, you know, like the hours were really surprising for me. Backstage, there was nothing but snacks all the time. There's so many snacks. It's like, you guys are trying to trick us. And
thank God there was food.
Oh yeah, there was food, but it was like donuts and because I didn't know, but apparently Krispy Kreme is really popular in Thailand.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I had Krispy Kreme donuts all the time. I was like, oh, let's eat all of them. But yeah, it was really nice. It was really like high and intense energy. We were there for a month. So
crazy.
Yeah, so there was like a lot of PR. I got to do a lot of temple visits and stuff. They were choosing girls. I don't know how they chose the girls, but I guess in different groups or just randomly, some people would get to go on an excursion at night. Some people would get to do like Muay Thai, like boxing. Some people would go to a temple. Some people would go do this and do that. And so, yeah, I got to do like 4 temples, and it was so beautiful. Thailand was amazing. They took really good care of us, you know, getting our dresses altered and stuff while we were there. They were really great. And then, but really it was the hours. That was the thing, just like, oh my gosh, because we would do like full 12-hour days, get back at like 11 o'clock. And then of course I got to wake up for like 4 a.m. to get fully ready. And then you're out for a full, like another date. It was a month that to get prepared. And I think for our prelims, I think we were up there until like in the AM, you know, like 2 a.m. or something. And then we had to come right back for showtime. It was like, oh.
It's not all glamorous.
No, it's not. That's why I like to, you know, tell people about the experience, because it really is like any kind of like competition style. Like if you're doing boxing or basketball or whatever, and you're all crammed on a bus, and you know.
So true, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I never
thing.
even compared it to that. That is so true.
Yeah, it's like that. But from coming from like a smaller country, I did have to like kind of fight to get seen, you know, competing against the sashes that just they're so heavy, you know,
Yeah.
even just in terms of population. So I'm like a country with 70,000 people, so you know, and so if I saw them going to do PR or something with 3 of the girls, I'm like, hey, you know, like go up to the guy, like, what are we doing? Are we doing PR? And they're like, oh, hey, Cayman, come on, all right, fine. So don't be shy, you know. And again, I think that New York energy really helped me going forward. So I was like, all right, no one's coming to look to see if you're gonna want to be in it. I'm gonna run and make sure that at least I'm in the background or something, you know.
Yes, you have to just get noticed. And that goes really, I mean, that's a trait that you can carry on for the rest of your life when you're trying to pursue a job or, you know, whatever it is that you know, networking, for instance. I mean, you were on my ladies networking call every Tuesday night. You never know who you could meet in those calls. And it's just getting noticed, being present, serving, connecting. And that in Miss Universe, I just love that story because it sounds like something I would do to a T if, you know, you weren't getting noticed. You just have to put yourself out there.
Literally, you know, and again, it goes back to like the tips that you just shared. It's like not saying, oh, why aren't they looking at me? Just because I'm from a small country. It's like, that might be it. So what are you going to do? You know, let's go. And for me, I wanted to be placed amongst the other big countries because I wanted them to see that even though I'm from a small country, you should take notice to everyone because I'm just as eloquent, just as dynamic, I'm just as, you know, everything as anyone else here.
Yes.
And so I'm going to put myself forward and show you that. I'm not going to resent the process and, you know, just sit down in a funk. I was like, that's just not my style. We've been here, you know, we've been up for 10 hours already. Let's go.
It's so much like Miss USA, right? And I don't know if that was similar to Cayman Islands as well, but Miss USA was the exact same way. We would get back at the hotel at about 11 p.m. and we would have to fix our spray tan or do a whole nother spray tan for the next day. And then I would go to bed, you know, at like midnight or 12:30. And then we'd wake up and do it all over again at, you know, like 5 a.m. And so you're just emotionally and mentally drained by the end of it. But at the same time, I can, you know, speak for my Miss USA experience. It was literally one of the most memorable experiences to date.
I didn't have to reapply the spray tan. So at least
you had a beautiful natural tan. I, on the other end, from Missouri, did not.
But a natural girl, like, we got to put our hair to bed, you know? So you got to, like, twist her up and put her in a nice silk cap and then go to sleep. So I was like, you guys are not giving me enough time. It really was one of the most amazing experiences. And, you know, every day, I guess Thailand is so big on pageants. Like, every day, the lobbies were filled with fans that were just, like, yelling out your countries and recording. And giving you gifts and stuff. And it was amazing.
I literally have the goosebumps just hearing you. It just brings back all the feels from Miss USA. And Miss Universe on just a whole nother level. So that's really, really awesome. Is there any other words of wisdom or piece of advice for women listening that you would like to share?
Absolutely. I mean, I've always grown up. My mom has been just like my superwoman, you know, all-star kind of like best friend. That's my girl. And she would always just tell me that, you know, there's enough sun for everyone to shine. So that's how I've kind of grown up, that you can uplift other people and uplift ourselves at the same time. And the sun, it's not going to go out, you know, like there's enough for everyone. There's enough space for everyone in any arena that you want to get into in life. Like there is space for you. And so just don't hold yourself back. Sometimes we hold ourselves back a lot from getting what we want because we think we're not ready or we think we're not good enough. And the only difference between someone who is doing it and you who wants to do it is that they do it and they don't take no for an answer. So go after anything you want. There's space for you. There's enough light for you, and uplift someone else along the way.
Beautiful, beautiful. You're such a beautiful shining light in this world, and I'm so excited the next time that I can see you in person after all this pandemic is over.
Yeah.
I'm coming come to you though. I will come to the Cayman Islands happily.
Come here. Yeah. No problem.
Well, thank you, Caitlin. It was such a pleasure talking to you and seeing your face today. Thank you for being a guest on my show. I really appreciate it.
Same here. Thank you so much. This was awesome.